This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Jeff Gardner.
Welcome to another episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today we have another good neighbor on, Carly Saunders of Our House. Carly, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the conversation. Let's just start off at the top. I'm unfamiliar with Our House. What is it? Okay. What do you do, Carly?
We are a home decor gift shop downtown.
So can we peel back the layers a little bit? Mm-hmm. Home decor. So what does that include when you say gifts? What does that mean exactly?
So we sell things like pillows, throws, candles, candlesticks, dishware, kitchen stuff, mugs, a large array of things, jewelry.
Nice. So is it kind of similar to like a, big box Bed Bath & Beyond, like just so I could paint the picture in my head?
Sort of. So we sell like an array of things like a store that way. But we try really hard to have things that not everybody else has.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And when did you guys start?
1993.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang. And I was talking to you about all those statistics about small and medium businesses before the show. And you're like, yeah, I know these things. We've been around for 30 years, Jeff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. You're already part of like the 99 percentile. So let's just kind of go off course here, as I love to do. What do you think? That's a rare thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
we're really lucky.
Study this stuff all day. To make it 30 years in business is a very rare thing. What do you think? What do you think is attributed to that success, Carly? Just the staying power alone.
I don't know. I think I've only been in the business for 7 years full time. But I think my mom and my aunt and my Nana at the time really tried hard to find things that our customers really want, switch it up with the times. Obviously, we've been 3 decades, and we have a lot of customers who've been coming in since day one. So I think the rapport that they've created with their customers is really huge.
Oh yeah, I imagine after 3 decades. What do you think? So again, to kind of paint this visual, because I think we think in kind of movie clips rather than wording.
Yeah.
What's the store like? I walk in there and is it some $5 trinkets, some $500 trinkets? Like, what am I going to see in there, and what am I going there for?
So we try to carry things for every budget, because I know not everybody can afford $1,000 things, which we don't carry, but we have good quality, high-end things for the most part, but we also carry like a $15 mug or tea towels that are $12.99. So we kind of have everything for everybody if we can. But we carry lots of things from like around the world. So we have a pottery company from the UK that we've carried for at least 20 years, called Emma Bridgewater. And it's all handmade, hand painted, hand stamped pottery, dishware. Then we have a jewelry line from the US called Brighton. We're like one of maybe 5 in Canada that sells it. We ship it kind of all over. We can order stuff in for everybody. But
lovely.
Yeah.
I love it. So is there furniture there as well? Just to again.
No, it's mostly just like things that you can fill your home with. We don't have a lot of space for furniture, as much as we would love to have couches and chairs and tables, but
so nice trinkets to spiff up the environment of my home, make it more cozy, kind of be an extension of like the artistry in me. I can go there and get the things that I need to build the environment I want when it comes to, as you said, pottery, mugs. Did you say throw pillows and things like that?
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. And our next question is about myths and misconceptions. If you can think, because this is so out of my realm, this kind of retail space, if you can think of things, maybe often when we're buying products, we have handmade and custom made products that are much higher cost. And with that comes additional value compared to mass produced things. I imagine you guys got a bunch of that stuff. So when buying products at your place, rather than maybe myths or misconceptions, but what makes you guys stand out? What is different from going to another? What would you call your business? Like, what industry is it in? I keep wanting to say retail, but that does not describe.
I mean, we are retail, but we're also, my aunt likes to say we're like a lifestyle store.
Okay.
So
there we go.
Yeah, I don't really know how to describe that, but
that's I think people are starting to understand that. When you said that, it's like, okay, now I'm like, if I'm going to pizza, I'm going to a pizza store, not a retail store. You guys are retail lifestyle stores. So what makes you guys stand out a little bit different from the lifestyle stores? You have these couple of different lines that most people don't sell, handcrafted items. What else do you think?
I don't know. I think we're definitely different from, say, like HomeSense or like another interiors retail store, because we care about our customers and we care about what they buy, and we want to make sure that they're getting the thing that they want so badly that they can't find somewhere else. Or like, we have a lot of customers that come in with, this is a picture of my hutch, help me fill it. We're like, okay, it's this place, we have this color wall, and we try to help them. So I think that makes us different too. Yeah,
I would imagine that stands out quite a bit from a HomeSense. That customer relationship, that helping kind of map out their idea into reality, which not to say that big box stores always fall short on that, but that's the impression we get a fair bit when you walk into a Bed Bath & Beyond or a HomeSense or things like that.
You're just kind of on your own.
Yeah, you probably get the odd employee that really digs that job and wants to help, but probably not nearly as invested as a family-owned business. So is it I'm assuming that your Nana is no longer around?
Correct.
Sorry to hear that. Was she the starter of the business?
Yeah, the three of them together started it,
So 3 generations of women?
Yep.
That's pretty cool on its own.
It's the best. And I have a little girl, she's 4, and she loves to be there. So we'll just keep on.
There's our 4th generation in the making.
Yep.
That's cool. So how many staff run the place? How many is there?
It's just
already?
The 3 of us, and we have one other lady.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All in the family. I imagine this one other lady is not in the family.
She's not, but I mean, she's with us
basically
every day, so she is. Yeah.
I love it. So getting outside of business, Carly, let's talk about you for a moment so we can let the audience get to know who Carly Saunders is. What puts a smile on your face outside of work? We get so many of the guests coming on the show. They're like, I love my work. And I'm very happy to hear so many people love their work, but there's more to life than just work.
Yeah.
What do you get up to when you're not working?
Well, as I said, I have a 4-year-old daughter, so she keeps us very, very busy.
Yeah.
She's in gymnastics and dance and doing all the busy things. We just started a veggie garden at our house this year that we're really, really excited about. And she loves helping us pick all the veggies and water it and all that fun stuff. So we do that a lot.
So running a business and running a family.
Yeah.
Any personal time?
Oh, yeah, a little.
Do you go skydiving or do you scale big rock mountains?
No.
No.
I'm very low key, like to read.
Oh, yeah. I like to read too. What do you like to read? Is it personal development, fiction, nonfiction? What do you get into?
Not personal development. I like to just kind of get lost and go into a totally different world, not necessarily fantasy world, but somewhere else that isn't here, and just kind of turn my brain off. And
got any recommendations for us?
Oh, I don't know. I like lots of things. I'm reading, what's it called? The Thursday Murders Club. It's very funny. And I think they're starting a Netflix show about it. So it's a highly recommend. It's very funny.
Thursday Murder Club.
Yeah, I think it's a series. I've just started the first one. But it's like old people in a home solving murder.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great plot.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. We got some recommendations now. So we like to talk about, I really look at this podcast as kind of like an extension of myself. I talk about, and try to find out. I talk about the same handful of things everywhere I go. There's only a few of them. And I try to get to see what the guests think about those types of things, if they think about them and their perception of them. So one of the things is doing hard things. In the world of entrepreneurship, it's difficult. There's not a lot of 30-year businesses. So in that of itself is very difficult. I have all my rules for life inked onto my skin so that they're there with me, especially in those chaotic, emotional moments, to try to stay being that person that I'm trying to be. But we talk about doing hard things and hardships and sharing our challenges of being a human, because I think most of the time, if you look at the news, it's all, not all, I don't want to use generalization, a lot of negativity, salaciousness. If it bleeds, it leads kind of thing. And then you go on social media and it's the polar opposite. It's all, here's my yacht, here's my trophy wife or husband, here's my perfect kids, here's my fantasy life. So we tend to do that. We tend to swing to these extremes and struggle with what reality is probably somewhere in between the two. So I've had great successes in my life. I've also had really hard moments. And there was a long period of my life where there's no way you'd find that out about me. The person that I was trying to be perceived by you is that perfect version of myself. So the clothes I wore, the music I wore, I listened to, the way I spoke, I wanted to be perceived in a specific way because I cared so much about other people's judgment. And I think a lot of us can fall into that same place. Sharing a failure meant that you could have been embarrassed or ridiculed or judged or something shameful to be pushed down. That was certainly in my 20s. I've learned new things since then and found a lot of value in sharing the whole experience, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between with our other humans to connect on a little bit deeper of a level. So that's one reason we like to talk about hardships, to get a more encompassing view of what it's like to be a human. A lot of people resonate. Life is challenging, no question about it, especially living a great life. I think the more you succeed in whatever category of life, the harder it becomes. And I think there is a lot of purpose to that. I think we grow and we learn and we develop from being challenged. And whether that is in the form of death is a challenge, not something I want, but I can get better through it. I can learn how to deal with that experience, learn how to support other people, learn how to deal with my emotional regulation and not fire off the handle if that was a problem for me. Dealing with challenging moments in business like COVID. That hurt a lot of people and they did not get better. And I would argue that that was a choice for many of them. And there's a lot of people that use COVID as like, if this is my new norm, then I have to adapt to this really challenging environment. And if they did that, what happens if the environment goes back to the norm? Well, now they're just so much more effective at that new norm. So we love to ask the guests on the show, are there any trials, tribulations, hardships that you've been through that probably sucked in the moment, as doing a hard thing, I think, has the symptom of not feeling good, discomfort in some way. Probably sucked in the moment, but when you look back at it in hindsight, you wouldn't remove that ingredient from the recipe that has become you, because that ingredient, that experience has led you to living the life you enjoy today. Anything come to mind?
The only thing that we could really think of was COVID. It was awful. Absolutely awful.
In what way?
We were closed for however many months they made us close for. So we had to shift because we were lucky in that we own our building. We didn't have to pay rent. There's only 4 of us. So it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Surely, but we had to completely shift. We had a small online store. Now we have almost everything that we sell online. We ship Canada wide. We ship to the States now. While we were closed, we had to do like in-store, no contact pickup. We do free local delivery, like on your door, ring your doorbell, run away kind of thing. So we had to do a lot of things differently. And I think, we still do them now when we're open and fully functioning, but it was a big shift.
So probably one of the most challenging experiences in that 30 years. I imagine you guys started in 93. So that was like 2 years before a big recession.
For sure. Yep.
So I imagine that was a challenging time, but I don't think there's been, in the last 3 decades, I can't imagine a more challenging time than being forced to be shut down.
Yeah.
So would you argue, I mean, from my perception, my interpretation of what you just said is your business became better from that challenge?
Yep. And we're still recovering, obviously, but yeah, I think so. We had to like, because we're pretty much in a recession now anyway, again, people they weren't working during COVID or got laid off or whatever. So a lot of people aren't spending the same amount of money on their houses or gifts for people that they used to be. Like even our family has pared back on what we buy each other for Christmas. And I think we've really had to dive into what we buy when we buy things for each season to just make it more of a cohesive like look in the store, a cohesive like feel, instead of just having this little thing or this little thing or this little thing. We've really had to be careful in what we buy, and I think we've been getting better at figuring out what we need to buy or what we can buy, and instead of just kind of, oh yeah, we'll take that, oh yeah, we'll take that, you know.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot more intention into the purchasing.
That's the word I was looking for. Yes. Yeah,
which can make a huge difference. I mean, I know for us, we were doing well before COVID. At least we thought so. It was providing pretty good lives to our team, but it was good times. And so we maybe didn't have the necessity, probably should have, but we weren't forced to really focus on where's this dollar going and what are we getting back? What efficiencies do we have? Like things like cost to acquire our client, our CAC ratio, our lifetime value of each client. Like these types of things we knew of, but we didn't really pay too close of attention to. Whereas COVID, that's how we got through it. And now those skills, those new learnings are implemented into our machine, our business, and has made it a way more efficient machine, providing more opportunity for more people, but giving way better products and services and customer service to our clients, because we were forced to, if we keep going the way we're going, our margins are becoming thinner.
Right.
Because we're spending the same amount on marketing and we're not getting the clients that we got prior to COVID, because people are just buying so much less. Right. So it really forced us to be like, okay, we can't keep going at this rate, this downward rate. Decent business prior to that. But now from this downward, it's like we saw the crash coming, didn't want to crash.
Right.
But we hired business coaches and people to identify the leaky holes in our boat.
Yeah.
So then just a plateau was good enough for us, and hopefully a bit of an uptick, which seemed to happen during the end of COVID. But now our business is better. So I appreciate you sharing that. It is a common response. But even if 20 people say COVID was my hardship, they all had a different experience through it. And we can learn differently. You brought your business online and now you ship to the States. Were you doing that prior to COVID?
No.
I mean, that can open up a whole world for you.
Yeah.
Like,
it helps a lot.
Yeah, if you guys really go hard into that and market to the States or whatever you decide to do, but now your product can be open to essentially the world.
Yep.
Right. Once you can go to another country, there's typically many more countries you can add to that. So that's fantastic. I appreciate you sharing that. Back to business a little bit. All the information that you have from the 30 years the business has been around, from the 7 years that you've been in it full time, I'm sure you're heavily involved with the business prior to then, since your whole family's been involved. All that information that you have, if you could distill it down to one or two main statements that you would want the audience to know. Someone who hasn't heard of our house yet, or the current clients, somebody who hasn't been there in a while, what's the main message you want to share with them about what you guys do?
I think a lot of people just don't know that we're family owned, family operated. We do everything together outside of work too. And shopping local and keeping lots of things, not just shopping, but like marketing and our like IT company that helps us is all local, and just trying to keep as many things local as we can is really our goal in all aspects of our life. And we love our little downtown community. Sometimes we get the odd customer that comes in and complains about our downtown.
Complains about what way? Just because you're located downtown?
Yeah, like parking, and sometimes people downtown and they're afraid to come downtown and all that kind of stuff. It's not a scary place. It's a very, very happy, very close-knit community, and we're really, really proud to be a part of that. And we've been a part of that for 30 years. So, I mean, we wouldn't be there if we didn't love it. And I think a lot of people don't know that we hand pick every single thing that comes into the store. We don't have a team of buyers that live across the country from us. We do it all. We go to the show, we do it online, we hand pick every single thing that comes into the store, and we love each thing. We wouldn't bring it in if we didn't love it. So
beautiful. Well said. Family owned, very intentional about all the stuff you guys bring into the store. I imagine it's an extension of what you guys are curious in, what you guys are passionate about. And on that point, before we get into the last couple, what would you say you are passionate about? Carly, I know I didn't put this in the questionnaire, and I'm totally sending you on the spot right now. But what would you say? I mean, we love talking about that. Like, let's talk about our businesses, the problems that we solve, the way we can increase the quality of people's lives with our services. That's great. But a little bit more into life so that we can really connect with people. What do you find yourself like really resonating with, really passionate about?
Myself personally?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Come on, Jeff. You can't send these questions to me like this.
I don't know, just family and
family. Yeah.
Like that's what we do. When I'm not at the store, I'm with my little family at home. I'm with my family, my extended family, and it's just a big part of who we are.
Yeah, I love it. There's so much value in family, no question. It's a you're kind of forced into it, not kind of. You're definitely forced into it, so you might as well make it the best run that you can. But I certainly have a great connection with my family. They have helped mold me into a life that I enjoy quite a bit. How can people find out about you, Carly? What's the best way to get a hold of you guys?
We have a website, ourhousebarrie.com. All of our information is on there. There's our email. I always have my email coming through to me, so I can respond pretty quickly.
What's the email?
It is info@ourhousebarrie.com. Okay. And when we're at the store, or if we're not at the store, you can always give us a call, and we'll always call you back if we're not there. And our phone number is 705-725-0829. And
are you guys on socials, anything like that?
Yep. Yeah, we're on Instagram. We just started TikTok. Terrifying.
You guys are riskier than I am.
It's a scary, scary place, but
it's a scary place.
It's what you got to do, you know?
Yeah.
And we're Our House Barrie on all the things.
Beautiful. Okay, so socials, Our House Barrie, ourhousebarrie.ca for the website. .com. My apologies. And then info@ourhousebarrie.com again.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. And then what's the address?
We're 55 Dunlop Street East.
Oh yeah, right there. Beautiful. I got to stop by sometime.
Yeah.
So the last question I don't put in there, and again, it is kind of one of the things that I focus on so much. It's just like my first 3 points here is I talk about entrepreneurship a lot. I think it's an amazing avenue to figure out what you're capable of, rather than just dollars and cents, profit and loss. Where we often just focus on my business as a means to an end to pay for the lifestyle I want to live. I think it can be a lifestyle in and of itself. If I'm going to do this thing for, 12 or 13 of my 16 waking hours, how awesome would it be if I can enjoy it or use it as a vehicle to become a better version of myself? So I talk about entrepreneurship a lot, talk about purpose and impact, talk about mentorship, fitness, love that, philosophy, psychology. These are the things that we talk about on the show. A lot of these questions have some of that ingrained into it. But this final question is probably the one that has driven my life forward the most, and it's impact. And this seed was planted to me early 20s from a mentor who's still in my life. She's provided a priceless amount of value and wisdom to me. She's a great woman, but she talked to me at that age, 22, 23, about impact. She basically said, like, you're born, you're stamped with an end date. You don't know when it is, but you're born, you die. What is the result of you being on this planet? Have you ever thought of that? I'm like, no, it's like girls, fast cars, money, sports. At 22, that's all I cared about, right? Very superficial, not quite the case anymore. But once she planted that seed, I became much more intentional in my life. So she said, reflect on your impact up to this point. What has been the net result of Jeff? Then be very intentional about your impact for the day, because you may not be here tomorrow. I can't do anything to get more time. Something beyond me has to give me time. I believe I can only control to a large extent what I do with that time given to me. But something could happen today and I could maybe not be there tomorrow of no choosing of my own. Of course, I want to be here tomorrow. But it's like, don't waste time. Be intentional about what your impact is today, whether that's personal or beyond you. And then for however long you are here, what do you want the net result of your impact to be? So some people take that as legacy. How are they going to think about me posthumously after I'm dead? I don't really think about that too much because I'll be dead. I probably won't care, or I won't even be able to care. It's more like, if I'm doing things here and now, what is the impact on other people? And I'm very clear about that with me because it's helped me a lot in my life. So we love to ask the guests on the show, what would you like your impact to be, Carly?
I don't know. I think I'd like to be I don't really know. I think if I could help make our downtown community stronger than it already is, kinder than it already is, and more of a safe space than it already is, I think that would be a good thing.
Oh, yeah. And probably have a ripple effect well beyond what we can actually see and identify.
Yeah.
Could go for years and years and years. I think that's a very altruistic impact. And I love it. It's great. So to make that downtown core more kind, more friendly, safer space, more connected.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Appreciate you sharing that with us, Carly. Well, I'm very happy to have this conversation with you on the show today. Learn about another new business. So many businesses out there. As much as we're out there hunting for businesses all day, every day, there's always a new business coming on the show or meeting up with. So very much looking forward to coming down to our house on Dunlop Street there. Check you guys out. Learn a little bit more about you. But it was great having you on the show, Carly. I appreciate you sharing your stories and letting us connect with you and question you and getting to know you a little bit more. It's been great.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm sure we'll talk soon, but until then, you enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks, you too.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Midhurst. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpmidhurst.com. That's gnpmidhurst.com or call 705-413-3775.